How are you, everybody who is watching this video? My name is Olenjolai TAYAI single. Simple, call me Olenjolai. This is our national flag. I'm from United Republic of Tanzania, or in simple language, just call it Tanzania. I would like to welcome you, whether you're an international viewer or you're a national viewer, into our online school. It's called Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. And simultaneously, I would like also to welcome you into our YouTube channels that's called Tanzania Online or Level Set School in square bracket Olenjolai. Well, it's a very fantastic moment. Once again, I welcome you to join me and stay connected until the end of this session. I'd like to remind you quickly the vision that we have in this platform that God has given us. This is a real mission and a real ministry, teaching ministry that we've been received from heaven. It's not our idea. It's not our intention. I didn't think that I can do these programs that I'm doing right now. But God is faithful. By His grace, He revealed this idea for almost a year ago. And for more than a year, but just it was very real. It was a physical idea since a year ago. So this is the vision that He has revealed to me, that I have an assignment to teach, to incubate, to mentor, to train, and even to guide some group of students who will be ready to take their classroom instruction in basic mathematics, physics, chemistry, combining with the knowledge of Word of God that found in the manual, that's called it the Bible, in order to solve real-life problems. So those real-life problems, what does it mean? It means that the actual problems that we experience as the mankind, right? At the visions. So our main objective here is to see our continuing ordinary secondary students and even our graduate ordinary secondary students who are solving real life problems. That is our main objective in this platform. We have some few specific objectives in these platforms. The first specific objective that we have is to make sure that all of our students will understand every subject that we are going to teach you. In this school, in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, in square bracket Olenjolai, we have 3 departments. The first department is called Basic Mathematics, second is called Physics, and third is called Chemistry. Okay? So that, this is my name, teacher Olenjolai. And so our main objective, one of our specific objectives is to make sure every student will understand every subject as well as we can. So we'll be training ourselves and we'll be transforming you from cramming physics or cramming chemistry or cramming mathematics up to the stage that you can understand every subject, and the message should be in your subconscious mind. Our second specific objective, to help you to pass all your midterm testing, terminal exams, annual exams, and even next exams for the Form 4, because here we are focusing for the Form 4, but also for the Form 2, we are helping them. Our third specific objective is also that we like to make sure that the students extract knowledge from the science and basic mathematics education. Another specific objective, can I mention it to you? I think that you have to go through the previous session. Okay. So I would like to welcome you in departments of physics. The subject of the day is physics. And then this is chapter 1, it's called waves. Waves. Okay. And this is session 1, called the general introductions of waves. And then these contents are for pre-Form 4 and Form 4 or class 12 for students. Well, so let us begin with the common print of Sir Olenjolai to begin, or technique. So the quick review of 40, the quick review of session we had in our YouTube channel. You can watch session 00, which is titled as General Introduction, of Physics Form 3 in square bracket Olenjolai. So it's a sentence, not like an abbreviation like this. General introductions of Physics Form 3. Let me write because possible that you want to go through it. So it's called the general introduction. So just research this in YouTube. General introduction of what? Of Physics. General introductions of Physics Form 3. Right? Form 3. So we wrote this one, Form 3. And then the square bracket is Olenjolai, the teacher. The name of the teacher who is teaching them. And this is the unique identification. So in this session, first of all, I shared with you the vision of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, okay, in square bracket Olenjolai. But also I shared with you about problems, okay, problems and solution, okay. So problems and solutions of to also. Okay, problems and solutions of, okay, that I'm solving in Tohoso. Problems and solution in Tohoso. Okay, and then I shared with you about the big picture of big picture of physics. What's a big picture of physics? Physics, the start that you can learn from primary educations to the postgraduate level. Then I presented to you reference books and materials that you need to use on learning physics. Also, I presented to you the topics, all the 7 topics, 7 or 6. We come to check 7 topics of physics. 7 topics of physics. 7 topics of physics in Form 4. Okay? So in case that you want to get too much details, and also in the beginnings shared with you, or I presented to you how registration. Remember that I'm only teaching Form 1 students by using English and Swahili. So registration. So it means that in registrations, how you can get registered. And the registrations on Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary Education in square bracket Olenjolai is very simple. Just if you have an email, official email, whether Google email or whether Gmail or Yahoo email, then you can log in and you can get registered within a minute, right? And then you can get too much information and get updates once we upload any new video. So then after this quick review, let us come to today's business. In today's business, we'd like to start with the big picture of the subject called science. Okay, science that we learned since our standard 4, possibly, if I'm not mistaken, standard 3 or 4, in between there. Okay, so this subject of science, when we get into our O-level, ordinary level, which is called the O-level, then we find that this huge subject, interesting subject of science, I trust that I know that when I was in Form 5, I learned it. Okay, I learned this subject of science, and even during my standard 6 and standard 7. Okay, so this subject divides into the following. Okay, science gives us one of the branch called these are branches of science, chemistry, and also science gives us another branch called the physics. I know that you know what I'm saying, but I want us to show you the big picture of waves, where we get the topic of waves. Because always, if you want to understand stuff, whether yourself or when you are being trained, you have to make sure that you always start from the big picture and should have an image in your mind of what you are learning. So then, in our O-level also, we found that the subject of physics is divided or the branch of, is divided into 4 subjects, right? But you have to cover them during our ordinary education. The first one is called the Physics Form 1. The second one is called the Physics Form 2. And the third subject is called the Physics Form 4, Form 3. And the last one which we are discussing right now is Physics Form 4. Physics Form 4. So these are the 4 subjects that we have to cover. And at the end of the journey for Tanzanians, we have to do certificate secondary education examination of physics, which is paper 1 and 2. So it's paper 1 and 2. So paper 1 is theory and paper 2 is practical testing. Because remember, physics is experimental science subject. So today we are in this zone. So in this zone, this subject of Physics Form 4, we can break the subject of Physics Form 4 into 7 chapters. It's just like days of the week. How many days in the week? 7 days. 7 days, 1, 2, 3, 4. You remember that song? When we have been running, during our primary education. Okay, we just call them chakam chak. Right? So we've been running, we have been singing. And this is the one of the song. Let me just make you rejoice first of all before we can, because physics is beautiful. Physics is just like we are singing songs. So we have chorus, we have bass, we have turn, we have bridge, we have also intro, we have intro, etc. How many days in the week is 7 days? 7 days, 7 days. How many days in the week is 7 days? 7 days, 7 days. How many days? How many days in the week is 7 days? 7 days, 7 days. How many topics in Physics Form 4? 7 topics, 7 topics, 7 topics. Okay, so let us come to the business now of physics. Okay, so we have 7 topics. The first one, we call it wave, which I've written there. The second one, we call it electromagnetism, so I just write it later. The third one is called the radioactivity, very interesting topic. The fourth one is called the semiotic emission. The fifth one, this is my favorite topic called electronics, right? And then the sixth one is called the astronomy, very interesting. And the last one is called the geophysics. Yeah. So those are the 7 topics. So this is all about the Physics Form 4. So now let me take you into topics or into this part or chapters of Physics Form 3. Okay? So remember that the reference is we have to refer according to the new syllabus, new physics syllabus, new physics syllabus for ordinary secondary education, Form 3 and Form 1, so Form 4. So Form 4 by Tanzania Institute of Education, outside. And then this you have to refer. Remember that this is the fundamental reference book. This is a compulsory book for my every student. I'm not saying that a compulsory because I used to distribute. I'm saying compulsory because it's a very important tool in understanding physics. I know that, listen carefully. I know that there's this mentality in many Tanzanians and even many African students that physics is a difficult subject. And I would like to disagree with that phrase, with that sentence, with such kind of the belief. Physics is not the hardest subject. Physics is an interesting subject, beautiful subject, and needs you to learn it by following principles and laws. Again, there's another slogans in Tanzanians for the Tanzanian students and even African students that mathematics is the national disease. I want to tell you that mathematics, or the best mathematics, or additional mathematics, or advanced mathematics, or basic applied mathematics, or high engineering and scientific mathematics, or basic engineering and scientific mathematics are not a national disease, but they are solutions for the national disease. So vice versa of what people they used to wear. You see, you have to think different. So you should have this book titled the Physics Syllabus for Ordinary Secondary Education, because every chapter that you are going to learn, you have to open and see the guidance. So for the Form 3, Physics Form 3, we'll find it in the certain chapter, and that's the chapter that I want to cross-check. Okay, Physics Form 3. Oh, Physics Form 4, excuse me. Physics Form 4. Physics Form 4, not Physics Form 3. Excuse me. Thank you, God. I have made several mistakes to mention Physics Form 3 rather than Physics Form 4. So this is the page. So it's page 119. You see, page 119. This is Form 4. There's a class level competence. Students should have the ability to apply concepts of waves and electromagnetic inductions in daily life, etc. Class level competences. By the end of the Form 4 course, the students should be able to understand the laws and principles of waves and electromagnetic induction. So you'll be reading yourself. So it's just from page 119, and you see that the first topic is what is waves, as I've mentioned there, waves. So it's 119 to the last page, which is 115 and 52, which is the greenhouse effect and global warming. Question. Okay? So this is page 119 to until you get to the page, last page, which is 152. This is all about a new syllabus. Okay, so according to this new syllabus, okay, now let us continue the business. There are only 7 chapters of physics. Chapters of physics from 4. Okay. So what are these 7 chapters of physics in Form 4? If you hate physics because of the bad teachers that you have, now I have a good news. I'm teaching physics Form 1, physics Form 2, physics Form 3, physics Form 4. If also you take a route of physics combinations in advanced education, I'm also teaching physics in advanced physics Form 5, advanced physics Form 6. Good news also, if you'll be taking engineering or scientific ordinary diploma programs, I'm also teaching physics NTA level 4, physics NTA level 5, physics NTA level 6. So stay connected. So these are the 7 topics. So these topics, these 7 topics, okay, these topics are, the first one, we call it waves. Say waves. Very interesting and practical topic. The second one, we call it electromagnetism. Electromagnetism. That's the second, electromagnetism. The third topic, we call it radioactivity. 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 This is all about modern physics. Then the fourth topic, we call it semiotic. Say semiotic. Semiotic emission. Semiotic emission. Semiotic emissions. The fifth topic is my favorite topic. We call it electronics. Possibly, I know many students, they used to skip this topic during the year ordinary education. But from today onwards, we like this topic more than even other topics, okay? Electronics. Then the sixth topic is called the, astronomer, elementary astronomy. Elementary astronomy. Elementary astronomy. Okay? The seventh chapter, we call it geophysics. Geophysics. So, my dear student and my dear viewer, my dear physicist, these are the 7 topics that I'm going to teach you in this subject of physics for 4. The first one, waves. I will teach about mechanical waves and electromagnetic waves. However, that will be focusing too much in the mechanical waves. We won't focus too much on electromagnetic waves. We just learn, I'll teach about electromagnetic spectrum. Then I'll teach about electromagnetism. This also is from the fundamental physics because in advanced physics you learn so many contents of magnetism. Okay, this also in advanced education is Form 5 topic, and this is the second topic, second main topic, and this is the second main topic for the Form 6. Then we'll teach about radioactivity. It's a part of modern physics. Then we'll teach about semionic emissions, which is just like a prerequisite for electronics. Then I'll teach about electronics, about diode, about transistor, bipolar junction transistor, FET transistors, etc. So we have so many information that we cover. In the semionic emissions, we will be discussing about vacuum tubes. Then I'll teach about elementary astronomy, and this will give you a good picture. In advanced mechanics, we have a topic called the gravitation. Then the last topic we'll teach about geophysics. Geophysics, this is the combination of the 2 words, geographical physics or application physics in the subject of the S. Okay. So those are the 7, and I want to give you a promise, and you have to keep that promise in prayer until it be revealed as the truth. Is I will be teaching you every topic by using simple language, different approaches, different questions that I'll be solving, and different style, so that you will enjoy every topic. So for presenting now, let us pay a focus on waves. Say waves. So write waves. In case you find that I'm speaking quickly, I'm teaching quickly, don't worry. You have a video in your hand. You have to revise it 10 times. You have to revise it 20 times until you grasp every concept that I'll be saying to you. So you have waves. So we say that we have the first thing I have to present to you subtopics of waves. Okay, subtopics of waves. What are the subtopics of waves according to the new syllabus? So we call that according to physics syllabus. According to physics syllabus for ordinary, secondary education. Secondary education. Secondary education from 1 to Form 4. Okay? There are 6 or 7. There are 7 subtopics. There are 7 subtopics of waves. Say waves again. Say waves. These subtopics are these subtopics are, subtopics are, remember that wave, you might realize that it's one of the longest topic for the in physics form 4. So these are the subtopics. I'll be writing them in capital later, according to the syllabus, from page 120 to 120, continuing to the certain point. Yes, let me check. 119, 120. So 120, this is for the 120 to 129. Okay. So the first subtopic for this case is called Introduction to Waves. Introduction to waves. Introduction to waves. Introduction to waves. Then the second subtopic that I'm going to teach you, we call it in physics behavior. Behavior of waves. Behaviors of waves. Behaviors of waves. Then we have the third subtopic called propagations of waves. Propagations of waves. Say propagations of waves. Okay? I have to say these terminologies because you need to write this knowledge in your subconscious or permanent memory. Sound waves. Sound waves. In 1.5 or the fifth subtopic is called musical sounds. Very interesting. Musical sounds. We're going to learn about musical sounds. So these are the applications of what? These are the applications of wave. Then electromagnetic spectrums. 1.6 we will teach about electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum. Not electromagnetic radiations or electromagnetic waves, but we'll teach about electromagnetic spectrum. The last thing, the last subtopic about the physics syllabus for ordinary secondary education, section 1.7, is applications of electromagnetic wave in daily life. Application of electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. So application of electromagnetic wave in daily life. In daily life. So applications of electromagnetic waves in daily life. This is the last subtopic. When we have applications of electromagnetic waves in daily life, for example, microwaves or radio waves, then we'll be ending the entire topic of waves. Right? So let me repeat. These are the subtopics of the topic of relation. Introduction to waves, behavior of waves, propagations of waves, sound waves, musical sounds, electromagnetic spectrum. Then we have number 7, applications of electromagnetic waves in daily life. Right? Okay, so the next stage now, we like to, in each subtopic according to the syllabus, the physics syllabus for secondary education, from 4, we said that every subtopic here, how many subtopics are there? 7 subtopics, and I will be teaching you slowly, step by step, every subtopic, and we are going to solve so many problems. So in case that you encounter them in any exams, it will be a revision for you because I've already taught you. Now let me take you into the next common step, which is subtopics of what? Subtopics of each, not subtopics, specific objectives. This syllabus declare the specific objectives. So the next part is called the specific objectives. Specific objectives. I have to present to you as my dear student the specific objectives of what? Of each subtopic. Of each subtopic. So specific objective of each subtopic of waves. The main topic is waves. This is class 7 subtopic. Okay? Okay. So remember that this is according to the new physics syllabus for secondary according to the book of physics syllabus for secondary education. And then you have to refer page 120. So 118. So begin from 120. And this goes to the 129. Of this subtopic of force. So let us begin with the first subtopic. And this right one, number 1, specifically objectives. I'll mention 1, then I'll leave 1 as a homework. Specific objectives. Specific objectives of the first subtopic of waves, which is called the introductions to wave. What introduction to waves. So here we are answering a very important question. What should we teach? And what should be the objective and the expectations of the student when learning the first subtopic of introductions to waves? Right? So then we say that, let me quote. The student, okay, I'm quoting from this manual, which is called syllabus. The student should be able should be able to explain the concepts of wave. Explain. Okay, so explain the concept of waves. So what are some concepts of wave? Introductions. First of all, define wave. What is wave? Okay, of a wave. This is the first specific objective of introductions to wave. The second specific objective, I leave the blank so that you fill it in yourself. In this subtopic has 3 specific objectives. Has how many? 3 specific objectives. The first one, I've mentioned that you as the students at the end of learning introduction to waves, you should be able to explain the concepts of waves. And then B, I just left the blank. And C, you should be able to identify types of waves. You should be able to identify types of waves. Identify types of waves. Should be able to identify types of waves. That is all. So this is the end of quotation. So then we go for 1.2, specifically because we still have 7. So let us have specific objectives that the students has to achieve. Specific objectives of the second subtopic, which is called behavior of waves. Say behavior of waves. Say behavior or behavior. Behavior of waves. Behavior of waves. Behavior of waves. So according to the syllabus, we have how many specific objectives? We have 2 specific objectives. We have 3. So total are these. These are the result mentioned 1. So let me cut. The student should be able to, the student should be able to, you, my student, should be able to do the following. Should be able to, Roman A, okay, to mention the applications of reflection, mention applications of reflection, refraction, some to mention, you should be able to mention applications of reflection, okay. So we say that the student should be able to mention applications of reflection, refraction, diffraction, and the interference. The interference and interference of waves in daily life. So to mention applications of reflection, refractions, diffractions, and the interference of waves in daily life, not life. Daily life. Okay, so this is the first specific objective of this subtopic, which is behavior of waves. And the second specific objective, which is B, this is I leave the blank so you can fill. And the last specific objective that the students, you who is watching this program, should meet it at the end of learning behavior of waves. Is this one. You should be able to demonstrate the behavior of waves. Demonstrate the behavior of waves. Behavior of waves. Demonstration, the behaviors. Okay, to demonstrate the behavior of waves. So that is this the end of court. So the second subtopic had the three specific objective, like the first subtopic, which also had three specific objective. So now let us go to the third specific objectives. I'm putting S in parentheses, whether plural or singular. What the name of the study subtopic is called the sound waves. Sound waves. So the sounding waves. Here we have also very interesting, because when it comes to the sound waves, we are talking about it has four specific objectives, and it begins with the student should be able to to describe, this is not sound wave. This is the four specific objectives. No, this is the fourth subtopic. So the third subtopic is propagation. Why did you correct me in the comment section? Propagation of waves. Propagation of waves. So propagation of waves. So at the end, once we cover, when we tell you that, or you notice yourself that we have covered the concept of propagations of waves, you should have to check in your mind if you met these specific objectives. The first one, the student should be able, and we tell that you'll be able, to describe propagations of mechanical waves. To describe propagation of mechanical waves. Mechanical waves. Then B, this I leave the blank. C, I have to mention for B. Determine, also students should be able to determine the relation, should be able to determine the relation between frequency speed determine the relation between frequency speed and wavelengths of the wave. Speed and the wavelengths of waves. D, I don't mention it. Okay? So then that's the end of quoting specific objectives. So then we go 1.4, specific objectives now. Specific objectives for learning what? For learning sound waves. Specific objectives for learning sound waves. Specific objectives for learning sound waves. The student should be able to, at the end of this, you student, the student should be able to the student should be able to identify sources of sound wave. I will teach you about musical instruments. Identify sources of sound wave. What are the sources of sound waves? B, this is fill the blank. This subtopic has 5 specific objectives. So I mentioned 3 and leave 2 as a blank page for you to fulfill. To describe the perceptions of hearing. To describe perception of hearing. Describe perceptions of hearing. So that is C. Then we go for D. D is your homework. Fill the blank. Afterward, I'm about to finish this session. So I invite you in session 2, when we'll be learning now introduction to web as the first Form 4 topics. And you should not be confused whether you're Form 4 or P4. You may start these contents and understand them easily. So this is the end of what. So we have to continue that this is 1.5. This is the longest specific objectives. But this is the direction. Specific objective. Okay, specific objective for learning. The next is a topic which is called musical sound. Musical sound. So specific objectives of learning musical sound. Say musical sound. This is very important topic. And very important topic in physics and sound engineering. The student should be the first specific objective on learning musical sound is you as a student I have to teach you that in such a way that you should be able to explain the concepts of musical sound. You should be able to explain the concept of the ground. Explain the concept of musical sound. Then we have B of musical sound. Then you have B, this is dash, and FC. Identify different musical instruments. So it's to explain the concepts of musical sound. And then B, I left it, identify the different musical instruments. I like this specific objective. Identify different musical instruments. And then that is C. D is homework. I mentioned A and F. So this is the subtopic which comprises so many concepts. Okay, so then we have E. Determine the frequency of musical note. Determine the frequency of musical note, the frequency the frequency of musical note A, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, F later. Now I'll have to help to mention to distinguish between the fundamental note and overtones. To distinguish, very interesting, distinguish between, I have to teach you distinguish between the fundamental note and overtones. To distinguish between the fundamental note and overtones. Note and overtones. To distinguish between the fundamental note and the overtones. To distinguish between the fundamental note and the overtones. That is the last, or the second from the last instruction, to explain the concept of resonance as applied to the sound. So let me write this for you. Explain what the concepts of resonance explain the concepts of resonance as applied to sound. Of resonance as applied to sound. Explain the concepts of resonance as applied to sound. That is one of the specific objectives in musical sound. And the last specific objective, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, for this musical sound, construct a simple musical instrument. This is a little bit difficult to read. Constructing a simple musical instrument. Musical instrument. So to construct a simple musical instrument. This is the end of quoting the specific objective for the musical sound. Christine, how many a day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 specific objectives. Of the 6 is what we call the electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum. Then we say that you have to quote the truth. The student should be able to explain the concepts of electromagnetic spectrum. To explain the concepts of electromagnetic spectrum. Explain the concept of the electromagnetic spectrum. So you as a student, you should be able to explain the concepts of electromagnetic spectrum. What does it mean? What's a brief history? This is the first specific objective. Aside the specific objective is left for the future use of the students. C, we say that detecting infrared, visible, and ultraviolet rays. Detecting infrared, visible, and the ultraviolet rays. Visible, infrared, and UV light. Detecting visible or infrared or UV light. To explain the concept of electromagnetic spectrum, we have B, we have C, all letters. So now the last specific objective is this. Specific objective. Specific objective of the topic of application. Application of electromagnetic waves. Of electromagnetic waves. Applications of electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic waves for electromagnetic waves in daily life. In real daily life. So above is the subtitle of specific objective of applications of electromagnetic wave. The student should be able to identify the applications of microwave, identify the applications of microwaves, applications of the microwaves, applications of radio waves. For example, we use radio wave in communication. Okay. applications of gamma rays and X-rays, applications of infrared, S-rays, X-rays, and gamma rays. Okay, so I'm about to finish this session because I know that you should get prepared for the next session. But before I end these sessions, I'll leave the homework. So you have to make sure to go through and you try the homework, to do the homework as well as you can. So gamma rays. And then you have V. So because they're lasting, let me mention, the student should be able to explain the importance of electromagnetic waves, importance of electromagnetic waves in agricultural climate. Importance of electromagnetic waves in agriculture and climate. And climate. Okay, so importance of electromagnetic waves in agriculture, indoting, and climate. This is the end of coding. So this is the end of presenting the general introductions. I would like just to leave homework. In the next lecture, which is session 2 of circular motions, I will quickly review the concept and then go to the desired subject. So this is homework 1. Go and look what is chemistry. What is chemistry? Or what is physics? So what, not what the chemistry, is what is waves. So what is wave? Who can define wave? So that's the phenomenon. What is wave? So this is the end of my session, of this session, session 1 of general introductions of waves. And I would like to thank God for have given me an idea and given me the strength and even given me the stamina of overcoming the challenges that I'm experiencing. And I thank God who have given me this chance to do this business. And I thank God for you. We have to give all the praise and glory to the Almighty God. He's the one who deserves all the glory. All the glory. So I would like to invite you in the next session. Don't make sure that don't miss, because we'll be continuing from the point where we